Says this as if this isn't a special effect.
Dumbledore leaves Harry with his head relatives knowing full well they will abuse and mistreat him for years to come.
I don't think Dumbledore knew the Dursleys would lock Harry in the cupboard under the stairs. He knew they were annoying and had a stick up their asses, not that they were downright evil. Besides, the only way for Lily's magical protection to work is for Harry to be with a blood relative, Petunia Evans.
Snakes don't have eyelids.
They also can't speak a snake-only language, and brooms can't fly, and there's no such thing as magic, and trees don't beat your ass, and owls don't deliver mail.
Movie hits the bankers are trolls symbolism a little too on the nose.
That would be true if these were trolls. These are goblins. Trolls are much taller and stupider. Just ask your subscribers.
Hey, they said an owl, a cat, or a toad, but nobody said your magic animal could be a rat.
Imagine thinking the kids always follow the rules at school.
Hermione isn't old enough to be hot yet.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Harry switches sides of the table in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't a matter of seconds. The feast began after all the children were sorted into their houses, so as more Gryffindor students were added to the table, Harry decided to move to the other side.
So Hogwarts is basically a death trap turned into a school.
So is your point that there are stairs? You know every single more than one-story building has stairs, right? Right?
Co-ed dorms for 11-year-olds.
The dorms in Hogwarts are not co-ed. I mean, the scene you're speaking over confirms that.
Welcome to the Gryffindor Common Room. Boys' dormitories upstairs and down to your left. Girls, the same on your right.
Harry takes notes in poetic couplets.
He's literally jotting down what Snape is saying. What are you talking about?
Snape takes points from Gryffindor because a little kid who just found out he's a wizard like a day ago doesn't know all the answers to the wizard questions. Snape is a dick.
This is not a sin. This is who Snape is. He was tormented by James Potter when they were at Hogwarts, so he's taking it out on his son. You are sinning how this character is characterized. If you had it your way, there would be no antagonists ever, because they're all dicks, and apparently dicks existing in a story is a sin.
You would not leave a group of 11-year-old students alone like this, whether they were wizards or not.
Jeremy has never been 11 years old in school. I have, and if a student needed immediate medical attention, they would leave the room to help.
Staircase changes randomly at a time convenient to the plot.
What does that mean? Convenient to the plot? The way you're phrasing this sounds as if the plot is something predestined to happen, and this staircase is simply following the plan. No, the plot only happens because of the events. These events don't happen because of the plot. You've got it backwards, is what I'm saying.
You're saying it wrong.
Hey, Bossy Pants, he said it right, okay? It was Draco who said it wrong, you nag.
He absolutely did not say it right. Ron said, Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa. Stop.
Why are they running from a f***ing cat?
Because that's Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris. This cat is Randall from Recess, a goddamn snitch.
They can't wave a wand and give a boy a respectable set of teeth?
That's Britzist.
Why can't the teachers use their magic to decorate for Christmas so that Hagrid doesn't have to do so much manual labor?
Maybe Hagrid likes cutting down Christmas trees. I mean, this is a guy that keeps giant pet tarantulas and smuggles dragons. I'm gonna go with Hagrid likes this stuff.
See, they even use magic to decorate the tree.
But I mean, Flitwick has to use magic to decorate the tree. Just look at him.
The restricted section of the library isn't very restrictive.
Neither is the adult section of the video store. At least this library has a lock.
Doesn't the use of the lantern sort of negate the benefits of the invisibility cloak?
Not really. The only problem would be is if someone sees the lantern, and in that instance, Harry would likely be alerted to their presence, in which case all he has to do is yank the lantern back in.
Exactly how f***ing tall is Harry supposed to be?
According to the books, pretty f***ing tall. It's a wonder they hired Daniel, who, even in 2013, is only 5'5" as a grown man. Heck, he could even play Wolverine if Disney got their heads out of their asses and bought Fox. Maybe one day.
I trust by now you realize what it does. Let me give you a clue.
Wait, do I realize it already, or do I need a clue?
Oh, you definitely need a clue.
Dude, you are a wizard. Try some magic, maybe, or throw a stick.
Harry has only recently learned that he is a wizard, and he is in his first year as a student learning how to be a wizard. He has spent 11 years being bullied by regular people. Why the hell do you expect him to already know defensive magic and to even think to use it in this moment?
Voldemort will destroy you. Come back.
How is he in the forest drinking unicorn blood and nearly killing you, but he's not already labeled as bad?
Probably because he's essentially a malignant tumor on the back of a dude's head. I can't imagine too many people would watch a movie about that.
Petrificus Totalis.
Awesome spell. Make sure you never use it again.
Someone hasn't seen Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows.
This camera angle is not appropriate.
But why? For whom? She's wearing pantyhose. It's literally anything. Besides, I think you're the one in the wrong here for thinking this hard about this in order to point it out. I mean, what was it you said?
Hermione isn't old enough to be hot. So the bad guy who beat them here just left the key behind?
Yeah. Haven't you ever played Resident Evil?
I really don't think that should have hurt him that much. I mean, he basically just fell down.
I agree. From not-so-high places shouldn't hurt humans that much. But why am I getting the urge to still sing you for this? I can't put my finger on it, but I really feel like I should sing you for saying this. Oh well.
You're a great wizard.
Listen, if Harry's such a great wizard, he would have performed at least one spell in this movie.
Being a great wizard doesn't mean one is great with spells. Harry was born a wizard. It's what he is. Besides, he definitely performed magic in this movie. Remember, he was one of the few broom riders to naturally get the hang of calling his broom to his hand? Harry is a wizard on the broomstick.
Pause. Does the book explain how the Sorcerer's Stone ends up in Harry's pocket? Because the movie's kind of all you about it.
Yes, the book does explain. The Sorcerer's Stone is a magical object. The enchantment on it prevents anyone that intends to use it from ever finding it. It will come to those that only want to protect it and not use it.
Only a person who wanted to find the stone but not use it would be able to get it.
That's cute, but it still doesn't explain how the stone ended up in his f***ing pocket.
Jeremy, it's a magical object. The entire movie has been showing you these kids learning about magic enchantments. Do you seriously need an explanation for magic right now?
Honestly, I'm kind of with Malfoy here. Slytherin's getting screwed.
Jeremy cares about Slytherin. That's worth these many sins.
Why are the kids in Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff throwing their hats in the air like they won something?
I'm so glad you asked. Page 306. Which means we need a little change of decoration. Dumbledore called over the storm of applause, for even Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff were celebrating the downfall of Slytherin. In other words, Slytherin.
Having a "The Books Do Not Matter" banner at the top of your video in order to shield yourself from having to do any research on these characters through reading. The books absolutely matter, especially in the first couple of Harry Potter films, where the dialogue is damn near lifted from the books word for word. Tell me, why is Harry Potter a Caucasian male from England and not an Asian woman from Thailand? It's because the book said so. Therefore, the book is the basis from which literally everything in this movie derives. Only until the movies tell you otherwise do you not consult the books on anything. The screenwriter did not create these characters. J.K. Rowling did.
I can't let you out, Hedwig. I'm not allowed to use magic outside of school.
Harry tells Hedwig he can't use magic to open the cage to let him out, but there's a key in the lock. Is turning a key magic?
First of all, Hedwig is a female, so you mean let her out. Second, you're not understanding the context here. Vernon, since he assumes Hedwig is a magical creature, especially since she can deliver mail, which no ordinary owl can do, the assumption will be that Harry is doing magic at home, which will get him into trouble.
How do you know my friends have been magic?
How does a house elf like Dobby get out of the house so often to steal letters from Harry's friends? Has he been wandering around outside snatching owls out of the air?
This movie clearly shows that Dobby can perform magic. He not only is able to curse a bludger, but levitate a cake and apparate with the snap of his fingers. Do you really need an explanation for how he snuck out of the Malfoy house and intercepted mail?
There's no way in hell Harry hears this flying car. The only way he could have been woken up just in time to see it is, you guessed it, magic.
Nonsense. The scene you're talking over clearly shows that the car is making noise. The closed captions literally prove that.
Ron, Fred, George.
Thanks for the roll call, Harry.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Yep, Ron, Fred, and George are home, but so are a host of other Weasleys, so where are they on this GPS system?
The problem with your question is that you only have half the information you need because you can't see the rest of the clock. Here is the full clock. You can see that one of the locations on the clock is bed.
Dad works in the Ministry of Magic.
Harry and Ron had a whole year to get to know each other and Ron's dad's job never came up?
You realize they were very much preoccupied with finding out what Fluffy was guarding most of the year, right? Not only that, why would you ask what your friend's father's job is? Why is that the business of an 11-year-old? What?
And who are you?
Seriously? One of the most famous wizards in all the land, and Arthur Weasley, who works with the government, hasn't even so much as seen a picture of Harry?
It's almost like Arthur Weasley is characterized as being only interested in muggles and their daily affairs. It's not like Harry has a very distinctive looking face, especially with his scar hidden. Heck, you could show me Billie English and I couldn't pick her out of a lineup of thick white women because I'm not interested in what she produces.
This lot won't come cheap, Mum.
Is there any reason this family full of magical wizards still has to be poor? Like, can they not use a textbook creating spell or something? I mean, we've got self-cleaning pots and pans here, people. What could this family possibly need money for?
What could they possibly need money for? Did you not just see they needed books and equipment for their 7 children? I don't care how much magic you got. 9 mouths to feed is enough to bankrupt nearly anyone. Arthur Weasley is the only one in this family that works, and Molly had been proven to be irresponsible with money by the 3rd book. They're using magic to clean those pots and pans, but they still had to buy those.
Diagonally.
Wouldn't Harry have to be, like, American to mispronounce Diagon Alley the way he does?
No, actually English, considering Diagon Alley is a play on the English pronunciation of the word diagonally. This is why Harry mispronounces it, because he spent most of his life as a normal Brit. An American would say Diagon Alley, because our pronunciation of the word alley uses the short A vowel sound. The English pronunciation is a homophone of the name Ellie, hence this scene.
Harry just happens to get accidentally sent to a place where he can overhear the Malfoys being evil.
Usually your coincidence sins are annoying, but this one is especially egregious because this is a red herring. In a deleted scene, you literally fell for the okie doke in a scene that's not even a part of the film canon and are treating it as a sin.
This run through the brick is cute and all, but are we honestly supposed to believe that no muggles ever see this and freak the out, calling 999 to report the redheaded kids who just completely evaporated in broad daylight?
Do you hear yourself? Think about it for just a moment. You pick up the phone, dial emergency services, and tell them you just saw people run through a brick wall and disappear. After you hear them hang up in your face, what's your next move? Because the only people that will print your story are tabloids, and the only people that take those seriously are the men in black.
Like, for instance, these muggles here who clearly see Harry and Ron's failed attempt at going through the brick.
Yes, but notice how they only noticed because there was a failed attempt? You know, a loud crash and 2 boys spilling all over the place? If they'd have gone through, even people who... have noticed would have thought they'd gone on the other side of the pillar. Are you telling me you're always... always watching where people are going in the airport, you can barely pay attention to children's films.
This car doesn't get dented or crushed at all. Now, you can tell me it's a magical car and that it can't get damaged, but then I'll tell you that the car only crashed because it was damaged somehow.
More like because the scene you're showing is only of the Ford crashing into the thinner branches. This car is mostly made of steel, and these thin branches aren't enough to damage the car significantly. However,
oh, now the tree condensed.
this is one of the thickest parts of the tree purposefully slamming into the vehicle. Clearly, this is going to cause far more damage than branches, Jeremy.
I know they had a brief adventure with the tree, but why are they so much later in arriving than the students who were on the train, which they followed here, and presumably arrived at the same time?
You just answered yourself. They were getting walloped by the Whomping Willow. Then the Ford spat their trunks and luggage out of the car, which they would have then had to lug to the castle. They aren't that much behind, seeing as how the other students' luggage is still in the home.
In this shot, there are panels open everywhere in this greenhouse, including a huge beanstalk or something coming out of this one. But then when the camera actually goes down into the greenhouse, none of the panels are open.
Except you're literally showing a scene of the tree going out of one of the panels right here.
Mandrake or Mandragora?
So CinemaSins, the channel that complains when movies don't tell them anything, is making fun of Hermione for giving the audience extremely important information that will prove useful later.
So wait, one mandrake scream causes the whole class to put their hands over their ears while wearing earmuffs, but 30 mandrakes all screaming at once brings no discomfort whatsoever.
When Jeremy was writing this sin, he clearly was looking at his keyboard and not Ron's face.
I don't quite understand. If you're Lockhart and you're a well-known author who has women throwing themselves into this vein, why would you take a low-paying job as a teacher at Hogwarts?
Because Dumbledore invited him to expose him using the famous Harry Potter as bait. As you said, he's vain and thought teaching Harry would further his career. Besides, when Dumbledore asked you to Civil War, you Civil War, goddammit. Okay, that's... you know what I mean.
Gilderoy Lockhart Inception painting.
Furthering the misconception of what the word Inception means.
A little quiz.
Doesn't Hogwarts set a curriculum? Like, how can professors come in and give quizzes about themselves to the students without that getting out and the professor getting reprimanded?
Why are you sending deleted scenes? How can the books not matter but non-canon scenes do?
Great Scott, no wonder. Look at the time. We've been here nearly 4 hours.
Okay, Harry was in detention with Lockhart for 4 hours, and then gets out late at night, conveniently bumps into his two friends, and then bam! All the kids in the entire school happen upon the scene at that exact moment.
Yes, because as was explained in the film, Ron and Hermione were at dinner with the rest of these students, and once it was over, went to look for Harry. This is why they all ended up here. They're returning to their dorms.
However, the circumstances are suspicious. I, for one, don't recall seeing Potter at dinner.
I'm afraid that's my doing, Cedric. See, Harry was helping me understand that.
Why, Ron and I went looking for him, Professor. We just found him when he said...
Yes, Miss Granger.
When I said I wasn't hungry, we were heading back to the common room when we found Mrs. Norris.
Does McGonagall write backwards on the chalkboard to make learning even more of a challenge for her students?
I see you conveniently cut out the part that shows Minerva's other chalkboard isn't backwards, meaning this fits the theme of transfiguration. Get it?
We will be transforming animals into water goblets.
Ah, another super useful spell. That's something you probably need on an everyday basis.
It's amazing to me how much you need your handheld. These are second-year students, Jeremy. They are learning the basics of transfiguration. Therefore, they learn something simple like turning a bird into a cup and then build on that concept from there. It's exactly like learning addition so that subtraction and multiplication later make sense.
The air alone would be able to open the chamber and unleash the sharper weapon, and by so doing, purge the school of all those who, in Slytherin's view, were unworthy to study magic.
Like Filch's cat?
But Mrs. Norris isn't dead. She's petrified, meaning she only saw the basilisk. Ginny, being possessed by Voldemort, hung the cat here as an example. The spiel McGonagall just went on was all about being killed by the basilisk. Genius?
Why would the school allow Ron to keep performing magic with this cat? It seems like it would be a danger to himself and everyone around him.
It's not that they are letting him, it's that they don't know. Ron hasn't told anyone about it because it was broken during the flight to the school. Beyond that, we've already established that Ron is poor. This wand was a hand-me-down anyway, so it's not like he can just take a trek down to Ollivanders.
And why doesn't a school full of magical items have, like, a spare wand lying around somewhere that this poor bastard can use?
Because, as we've already established, the wand chooses the wizard, which is what happened with Ron's hand-me-down. Remember Harry basically destroying Ollivander's shop in the first movie? You'd have to be an exceptional wizard to use someone else's wand without it choosing you, and do we think that applies to second-year Ronald Weasley?
No one ever comes in here.
Why?
Moaning Myrtle.
How incredibly convenient for our heroes, and how terribly inconvenient for all the girls in the school to have their bathroom choices narrowed down.
Yes, how convenient that there's an area in a gigantic castle that allows a witch and 2 wizards to make a potion.
What's bad? If I hadn't told that snake not to attack Justin...
Yes, there was absolutely no one who could have stopped that snake from attacking Justin. I mean, no one.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
The snake monster in the Chamber of Secrets must be waiting weeks between victims. We had the cat, then the picture kid, then the dark-haired dude, and it's Christmas. Isn't he on some kind of crusade to kill all the mudbloods?
First of all, that's racist. Second, Lil Voldy is using Ginny for these terror attacks. This means the only time she can be possessed is when she's writing in Tom Riddle's diary. This explains the relative lack of action because it's all due to Ginny's willingness to express her feelings in the book.
Man, it sure is lucky there's a time and place to catch Crabbe and Goyle walking alone in the hallways and trick them with floating cupcake bait.
Yes, how convenient that there's a time where Crabbe and Goyle are without Malfoy. Because, as we all know, they're never apart ever, even when they pee. Because apparently, Malfoy's there to shake it for them.
Follow the spiders.
Hagrid tells the kids to go into the Dark Forest, which he surely knows has a bunch of ravenous spiders waiting to kill them. And for what?
Hagrid never opened the Chamber of Secrets.
To clear his name? The defense calls to the stand? This giant spider. He'll clear it up.
Well, yeah, to clear his name. It's a big plot point in the story. I think you and others fail to realize that every book in the Harry Potter franchise is a mystery novel. Hagrid being exonerated is a cornerstone of the genre. Also, Hagrid has been characterized as loving and understanding relatively dangerous animals. So, he is under the assumption that Aragog will not harm them and will explain that he was mistaken for Slytherin's monster in the past. This leads to the revelation that the spiders are afraid of the basilisk, an important development later.
I believe in magic cars with invisibility buttons. I really do. But I don't believe in a magic car that somehow knows its owner is in danger and comes roaring in to save the day.
It's almost like it doesn't matter what you believe because that's what happened. This car was clearly shown to have a personality when it spat Harry and Ron out of itself when they drove into the Whomping Willow. They then showed the car driving into the Dark Forest, setting up this payoff.
But if it kills by looking people in the eye, why is it no one's dead?
Because no one did look it in the eye. Colin saw it through his camera. Justin must have seen the basilisk through nearly head to Nick. And Hermione had the mirror.
And Mrs. Norris?
There was water on the floor that night.
This is the most convenient and luckiest set of circumstances ever for numerous characters to defy death.
Yeah, and this is how Joanne wrote the story. But you know what's even more convenient and lucky? That you are all here watching this video. Out of the quintillions of sperm cells, it just so happened to be us, in this moment, experiencing now, when just one of those cells being different would have changed this entire equation. Do you see how calling things convenient and lucky doesn't mean it would never happen?
Spiders flee before it.
This page about the basilisk clearly states that the crowing of the rooster can kill it. But instead of seeing that important information, Harry focuses on the spiders flee from it and ends up going into the Chamber of Secrets completely roosterless.
That's kind of part and parcel for a Gryffindor, though, isn't it? Jumping into the fray to save one's friends without really thinking it through like, say, a Ravenclaw would. There's a reason they have these houses, Jeremy. They serve a narrative purpose to show you the kind of personalities these characters have. The real sin is that they found the Chamber of Secrets but didn't immediately tell McGonagall or Snape, not that they didn't bring a goddamn chicken to a snake fight.
Who is it that the monster's taken, Minerva?
Ginny Weasley.
How does she know which student was taken? The message just says her without mentioning a name.
I think Jeremy is forgetting that McGonagall is the head of Gryffindor House and would know if one of her students were missing. Also, there was a scene where Minerva stated quite clearly that no child would be without a chaperone, meaning if a student is missing, they would be the one that was taken. How hard do you think it is to do a head count, my dude?
Well, I must say, when I took the job...
It's completely illogical that Dumbledore would ever have hired a bumbling, useless wizard like Lockhart to be any kind of teacher at Hogwarts.
Then you don't know Dumbledore. Even if you want to discount the books, it's clear that Albus hired him to expose who he really was. This is how Dumbledore operates throughout the entire series. Why is this a problem again?
How does a memory generated from a diary pick up Harry's wand?
Ho, 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 it's magic, you know.
So how did Fawkes the Phoenix get past the spot where the rocks caved in and blocked the path?
I'm so glad you asked. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, page 207. It's a shame you had to see him on a burning day, said Dumbledore, seating himself behind his desk. He's really very handsome most of the time. Wonderful red and gold plumage. Fascinating creatures, phoenixes. They can carry immensely heavy loads. Their tears have healing powers, and they make highly faithful pets.
No, that's not gonna work.
Future Birdman? What are you doing here? You're not a Gryffindor. How did you get the password to our common room?
What? This there's a green screen. Lights there, there's lights over here. Microphones right here. And it's cool, but we ain't at Hogwarts. Look, the point is that Jeremy's gonna do the whole books don't matter thing, so let's roll actual footage of Dumbledore saying it in the film.
Fascinating creatures, Felixes. They can carry immensely heavy loads and their tears of healing powers.
More, what about that snake door that Harry had to speak Parseltongue to open? The door clearly closes behind him.
Fawkes also has the ability to apparate within the walls of Hogwarts. You know this because you made this video in 2013, and Order of the Phoenix, where this ability was shown, came out in 2007.
I have no intention of going to Azkaban.
Enough of this. Take him!
You must have shown me real loyalty down in the chamber. Nothing but that could have called Fawkes to you.
Well, it's either that or the convenient storytelling.
But this was explained in the film. Dumbledore explicitly states that help will be offered to those that need it in his absence. He was very clearly referring to Fawkes. Nothing about this is convenient because it was set up prior.
So the rule is the house elf becomes free when the master presents him with clothes. Is this really presenting clothes to Dobby? Does Malfoy have to specify every time he gives Dobby a basket of laundry? Now, these aren't your clothes, Dobby. These are for cleaning. This is all accidental and without the master's knowledge. This rule and this loophole are stupid.
The point is that Malfoy gives Dobby the sock with no intention of ever keeping the sock for himself. In other words, that sock does not belong to Malfoy in the way that his laundry does. Presenting a house elf with socks in this way is a loophole Hermione tried to exploit later on.
I know we want to have a nice Dobby saves Harry moment here at the end, but was Lucius Malfoy seriously about to use the death curse on Harry right here outside Dumbledore's office?
I just would like to point out here that Jeremy is assuming Lucius is attempting the killing curse. He's right, as Malfoy is trying to kill Harry here, but Jeremy would only have knowledge of the killing curse if he's read the books or seen the fourth film, because that curse isn't revealed until then. So of course, this means the morons that want to come to CinemaSins' defense over me using Order of the Phoenix 3 sins ago can kiss my ass.
Goodbye, Dumbledore. Hope you don't look and sound completely different next time I see you.
What an amazingly insensitive sin. This man died. Have some fucking respect. I guess this opens the door for me to continue sending your videos if you perish before I do, eh? Look who's eating the apple now.
Gotcha.
Happy Halloween.
These assholes are still sending Harry back to live with abusive people during the summer?
Because of this bit. Witch. Not really witch. Muggle, but you know what I mean. Petunia was Harry's only living blood relative, and Lily sacrificed affords Harry protection against Voldemort as long as he was accepted into a blood relative's home.
How the f*** is Harry doing this? He didn't pull out a wand, he didn't utter any spell names, so why does he have to use that shit ever if he can silently will a person he doesn't like to bloat up and float away?
Wands simply allow a magical person to channel their innate magical ability. Literally in the first movie, Hagrid asked Harry had he ever caused supernatural events to happen without realizing it, and you should know that because you've already seen that movie. Also, incantations aren't exactly necessary to cast spells and curses in the Harry Potter universe. Wandless and silent magic has been a thing in all the books and films. I mean, they literally teach nonverbal spells in the 6th year at Hogwarts.
It's pretty damn convenient that the magic bus shows up literally just as Harry's about to have a confrontation with the dog. Or inconvenient because that was his godfather who loves him. And a lot of worry and mystery could have been alleviated if the bus had simply been 3 minutes slower.
Yeah, but that isn't how mystery novels work now, is it? It's weird to me that a person would consume mystery media and want that mystery to be revealed in the first 10 minutes of that story. Besides, it's not convenient that the bus showed up. It's literally a bus that comes to stranded wizards. In other words, it's magic, not convenience.
But the Muggles, can't they see us?
Muggles? They don't see nothing, do they?
All that bullshit with Ron, Harry, the flying car, and the Muggles was a bunch of bullshit.
It wasn't. All this is Shunpike glossing over the invisibility charm that is clearly shown on the bus at the beginning of the scene. The car in Chamber of Secrets was seen because the invisibility booster was faulty.
Looking forward to a new term?
Yeah, should be great.
Right, because every other year at Hogwarts has been peachy.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Why would I go looking for someone who wants to kill me?
Oh, I don't know. The events of the last two movies might lead someone to think that.
Except it didn't happen in either movie. In Philosopher's Stone, Harry wanted to find out what Fluffy was guarding as he suspected Snape wanted it. He did not think Snape was trying to kill him. In Chamber of Secrets, no one was trying to kill Harry. Tom Riddle's spirit was trying to rid the school of mudbloods. Harry is a half-blood, meaning he was safe. The only reason you're saying this is because you have prior knowledge of the later films, which is weird considering you didn't know why Harry had to continue living with the Dursleys, something that was explained in the books and the films by the time you made this video.
Come on, everywhere else is full.
You checked 4 compartments.
No, you only saw them check 4 compartments. The scene started with Harry in the middle of a conversation about blowing up Miss Trunchbull. Clearly, there was more to the scene than what we saw.
Who do you think that is?
Professor R.J. Lupin.
Since when do professors ride along with students on the train to Hogwarts?
Jeremy, this is the 3rd movie and only the 2nd one to show the passengers on the train. They are obviously establishing that sometimes professors can use the train to Hogwarts. I mean, it's just a train. Calm down, Karen.
Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban to come after you.
No kid this age would ever tell important secrets to their friends in this close proximity to a teacher, even if they thought that teacher was asleep.
What? Where are you getting this? When was this established? Who are you speaking for?
Why is Gamora?
Boy, it sure is lucky they picked the one compartment where a professor just happened to be sleeping.
Yeah, or else the entire movie wouldn't exist. That's kind of how things work. You know, it sure is lucky that Harry Potter never got hit by a car during his time with the Dursleys. Otherwise, Voldemort would have returned to power. You get it? That's not luck. That's the story. If a potential protagonist dies before the story even happened, there wouldn't be a story to tell about that protagonist, so he must have survived for the story to have been told.
When did the Hogwarts choir learn this song? During their summer break? This is the first night of school.
That's a weird question, especially because these aren't first-year students. I mean, even the protagonists of this film are in their 3rd year, so obviously these students were a part of the choir at least since last year. The fact that this is the first night has nothing to do with anything.
Unlike the Oracle, the new Dumbledore feels no need to explain his altered appearance.
It's almost like this isn't the Matrix or something. Frankly, this is how you do it. If you lose an actor due to death or another circumstance, recast the character and move on. Marvel could learn a thing or two regarding Black Panther. You mean they should recast T'Challa, right? Oh, I meant Letitia, but yeah, T'Challa too.
A word of caution. Dementors are vicious creatures.
This warning came just in time.
That's an interesting position you've got there, Mr. Why Are Professors on the Train? What, did you expect Dumbledore to also be on the Hogwarts Express giving this warning then? Dementors are independent wardens of a magical prison. They don't answer to anyone at this school and we're doing their job looking for Goku Black.
Taking the form of a giant spectral dog. It's among the darkest omens in our world.
I'd be scared, except Harry faces death every year and lives, so this is really just another day.
Out of Harry's 13 years of living, his first, 11th, and 12th years were the only ones he's faced danger so far. That means 77% of the time, he's fine.
You're supposed to stroke it.
Ah, the things you learn at the age of 13.
Jeremy implies boner.
Anything that flies in the Harry Potter universe is contractually obligated to do some soaring laps over Hogwarts Castle.
Jeremy hates flying over Hogwarts Castle.
Hermione isn't old enough to be hot yet.
Doubling down on the pedo jokes, eh? You might as well say, she has grass on the field, play ball. They both mean the same thing. A 40-year-old dude thinks it's appropriate to speak this way about a 12-year-old. Oh, and for the morons that like to try correcting me on ages and dates, like the silly-ass people that got upset when I referred to Return of the Jedi's effects being a product of the year they were made, this movie began filming when Emma Watson was 12. She was 13 when it finished and 14 when it released. It's a shame that I have to point this out, but I've learned people only hear what they want to hear and not what I actually said. How's that, Alex Duran, you little bitch?
Black could be anywhere.
That's racist.
Yeah, but aren't you white calling a black dude an Uncle Tom? That's racist.
No one knows.
When did she get here?
If Hermione is using a time travel device so that she can be in 2 places at once, why would Ron notice anything abnormal?
Because she wasn't there a second ago? I feel like that's self-explanatory, but here's a screenshot anyway.
Ridiculous!
Holy sh! She just turned that cobra into something even scarier. Why is everyone laughing?
Because clowns are only scary to something like 7.8% of the population? You know, pussies.
That's enough for today. If you'd all like to collect your books.
No one else gets a turn because Harry bogarted the boggart.
Hey guys, here's a sin of Prisoner of Azkaban. They're getting on with the plot and not showing me something that has nothing to do with that plot, which, even if they did, I would complain about it.
Your mother, Lily's.
Oh, yes. I knew her.
This dude totally f***ed your mom, Harry.
Yelling at the screen cliche.
Not a single professor inside this castle would help Sirius Black to enter it.
There's no way these two would have this conversation right in front of students who are notorious for faking sleep in order to eavesdrop.
Except that's precisely something Dumbledore would do, considering what he's doing here is reassuring the students that they are safe. Like, that's literally the point.
It sure is fortunate that the Minister of Magic and Professor McGonagall decided to visit this random pub owner so that Harry could hear some extremely crucial information he could use later.
This takes a bit of explaining. The Three Broomsticks is a popular pub in Hogsmeade and a place where adults can go to do a bit of drinking and socializing. McGonagall is here as the chaperone of the students on a trip to Hogsmeade. Fudge is not exactly on the best terms with Dumbledore, so he came here to speak to Minerva about the situation with Sirius Black. Rosmerta is the pub owner, so when the Minister of Magic visits her pub, she offers him a private room to serve them drinks, and here is where they all chat. It all makes sense when you're not trying to boil this down to something simplistic.
Character who really needs glasses loses glasses during crucial action sequence cliche.
But wouldn't it be more ridiculous if his glasses didn't fly off? I mean, he was getting tossed around like a Kardashian at a black frat party.
Oh, man. If you would only fallen right side up. Oh well. Maybe next time, Harry.
These are children, Jared the subway guy.
I found him. I know. It's him. I understand. Let's kill him. Come on. Let's kill him.
What's with the pronoun game? Why scare the kid when you mean to kill the rat?
Because they know who the f they're talking about. The pronoun game only applies when the listener doesn't know who the speaker is referring to. Don't you know your own running gags?
Severus, please.
Well, there goes the theory that you need your own personal wand to make magic.
It's almost like there was an entire book dedicated to the concept of the Elder Wand 7 years before you even made this video. And you can't even make a Books Don't Matter reference because the first Deathly Hallows film came out 4 years before you made this video. And did you forget you literally argued for Ron to use another wand in the Chamber of Secrets video, you cherry-picking ass?
So what was all that bullshit in the last movie with Ron's broken wand and the school not giving him a replacement?
Oh, so you didn't forget. But I guess you just forgot about Deathly Hallows being the third biggest movie of 2010, and apparently you were the only person on Earth that didn't see it, right? Give me a fucking break.
Also, why is Harry's disarming spell so strong that it blasts Snape across the room, while Snape and Lupin's disarming spell merely disarmed the person?
Why, oh why, is Jeremy pretending he didn't see this exact effect in Chamber of Secrets? During the duel scene between Snape and Lockhart, Snape sent Lockhart flying with the disarming spell, and Jeremy specifically pointed out a continuity error in that scene.
Wand goes flying, but then is magically back in Lockhart's hand after he lands. And we all know Lockhart doesn't know enough magic to pull that trick off.
Now he's pretending it's never been established to have that effect. Anyway, wizards can vary the power with which Expelliarmus hits the target, which has the effect of simply removing their wand, or a concussive force. Considering Harry hates Snape, do I even need to finish this sentence?
So Lupin turned out to be a good guy after all, and so did Sirius Black. So this movie's primary antagonist is Peter Pettigrew?
Yes.
Oh, right, because the werewolf would totally be surprised by a sudden full moon.
Yeah, he would? What the heck kind of sin is this? Do you not know how werewolves work? Remus was caught up in finding out his best friend wasn't a murderer when the moon appeared. This totally makes sense.
Hermione tries to reason with the werewolf.
Probably because Moony usually takes Wolfbane potion that allows him to keep his human mind. That's why Sirius asked him did he take his potion.
Retracing my steps to be a wise place to begin.
Honestly, can't you just spell out exactly what they should do instead of being such a vague bastard? Is this not a mission in which you actually want them to succeed?
I really can't understand why you want characters to not be themselves. You might as well ask Deadpool to not break the fourth wall. I mean, yeah, he could stop doing that, but that wouldn't be his style. Besides, Dumbledore is speaking to the smartest witch in the school. This is like throwing an alley-oop to 2009 Dwight Howard.
Dude, where was all this anger when you first found out about this?
Oh, you mean this? When he 360 no-scoped Severus?
Seriously, everyone in the execution party is enamored with the countryside? Not one cursory glance toward the animal you were about to kill?
First of all, they did look at the hippogriff. Fudge explicitly states that he saw Buckbeak prior to him escaping. Second, Dumbledore is distracting them. His plan was to use Hermione's time turner to save Buckbeak from the onset. You seriously underestimate the greatest wizard of all time.
Can a werewolf really not tell the difference between a real wolf and a teenage girl screaming like a wolf?
Interesting question. Can a dog tell a human barking from a real dog? guess that answers that.
Harry and Hermione resign themselves to werewolf death instead of, I don't know, casting a spell at it or something.
The implication is that magic doesn't affect werewolves much, if at all. This is precisely why Sirius, Severus, and these two all did not think to attack Lupin with magic. Did you not do the homework? This was on page 394.
Expecto Patronum!
Original Harry somehow didn't hear this bullshit.
Probably because he was busy getting his soul sucked. Take it from me, you wouldn't hear anything either.
I saw myself conjuring the Patronus before. I knew I could do it this time because, well, I'd already done it. Does that make sense?
No!
Jeremy just dings the ding here, implying that Hermione was right that this doesn't make sense. The problem is that it does make sense. If you have gone into the past and saw yourself doing something that you previously couldn't do, it literally means you are capable of doing that thing. 20 points from Slytherin for this malfeasance.
It's the love of Slytherin really that leaves us. And you can always find it in here.
And also in that mirror from the first movie, which you seem to have forgotten about entirely.
Oof, swing and a miss. The point wasn't that Harry wanted to physically see his parents. He can already do that with the pictures he has, Jeremy. Especially because the Mirror of Curiosity had been moved to the Room of Requirement, a place Harry wouldn't discover for another 2 years.
He's free. We did it.
Did what?
Good job saving the day. Don't ever use that time machine again, though, no matter how dire things get in future sequels.
Jeremy has a point here, that they never revisit the Time Turner or use an incredibly useful item in the Second Wizarding War. However, I'm far more miffed that CinemaSins is blatantly admitting that they have seen the future sequels. I mean, we already knew they have, which is why I called them out on it in the Wand Sin, but it's kind of annoying hearing them admit it after playing dumb like they haven't.
Let's talk about the movie's time travel. They go back in time, but practically everything we see them do is stuff that happened the first time through. Harry getting hit with a rock, distracting the werewolf, etc. This is a paradox of Terminator proportions unless there's an original unique experience where the time turner isn't being used. Harry and crew would go to Hagrid's cabin and likely get caught by Dumbledore. Then none of the things we see happen would actually happen. They don't save Buckbeak, Ron doesn't lose his rat, Sirius doesn't drag Ron into the tree and into the shack, Harry doesn't find out Scabbers is Peter Pettigrew, Lupin turns into a werewolf somewhere else, and Sirius doesn't get nailed by the Dementors. And scene. The problem with this, though, besides the fact that we in the audience didn't get to see this original experience, is that at this point, only Buckbeak has been harmed, and you weren't using a time travel device just to go back and save that asshole. They don't have any other motivation to begin going back and trying to fix stuff. Thus, a paradox.
Your premise is off, and that's what's causing you problems. You start with the presumption that there is an original timeline, different than this one. The time travel presented in this movie is Nabokov's self-consistency principle, which states that the timeline remains fixed no matter what the time travelers do, because it's impossible to create a paradox. In other words, this is the only timeline, and things that happen from Hermione and Harry's perspective happen because it already happened. This is a closed or causal loop, which does not require another timeline. However, what I find most interesting about this sin is that when someone tried to correct you in your comment section, you're defending yourself. I mean, look at you go. Curious how your fanboys love to state these videos are all jokes and not meant to be taken seriously, but if that were true, there would be no need for you to explain yourself to this audience member. I mean, if it were all a joke, why would you be defending the joke? It's a joke. See, the truth is that CinemaSins tells jokes in criticism videos, which directly validates the work that I'm doing. So suck it, idiot number 245,679 that's in my comments section typing, "It's not supposed to be taken seriously." It clearly is.
Heavy-handed opening shot of skulls in cemetery to tell you Harry Potter ain't for kids anymore.
No, that revelation was made back in Prisoner of Azkaban when Sirius Black was stated to have wanted to kill the main protagonist. How many kids' movies outright state the antagonist wants to kill the protagonist? I mean, if Dora was actually realistic, Swiper would have pulled the blicky on her by now, but he hasn't, because that is something that's actually for kids.
This old man noticed the light before it was turned on.
Or this is the movie showing you why he performed the double take. In other words, Jeremy fails to recognize things that are happening at the same time.
Harry!
Oh hey, the Hogwarts assholes finally stopped sending Harry back to spend every summer with abusive relatives.
When did you get here?
Just now, you?
Last night.
Oh wait, no they didn't. Assholes.
Again, Harry is sent to the Dursleys because of his blood relation to Petunia. You calling Dumbledore an asshole for literally saving Harry's life is hilariously tone-deaf. It's also strange because this movie literally does not show the Dursleys, so you're only bringing this up because you have knowledge of the books that you say don't matter.
This 2-second clip of Robert Pattinson falling out of a tree was the only audition he needed for Twilight. Is the boot just sitting out here in a field the rest of the time when it's not being used as a portkey? Did someone come out here even earlier this morning and set it in place?
I'm not even going to answer these silly questions. I'd much rather point out that this is what I'm talking about. CinemaSins asks questions that aren't related to the film's plot in any way, and people act like because I relay an answer that may be in the source material, that I'm wrong to do so. You know, because books don't matter, but apparently random ADHD questions that have nothing to do with what the movie is saying do. You might as well ask, why does Harry wear glasses, or why is Ron's hair red? Neither have anything to do with the plot of this film and don't deserve nor require an answer.
Why are they all standing around that manky old boot?
That isn't just any manky old boot, mate. It's a portkey.
Of course it is. You can now officially transport using anything in the Harry Potter universe.
The various methods of travel in the wizarding world all serve a specific purpose. Brooms allow a single flyer to fly wherever they want, but are generally slow and the flyer can't carry much with them. The Floo network allows travel using fireplaces, which is also the con of using it. And portkeys allow a traveler to teleport to a specific location and only to and from that location. This is no different from the various methods of travel we have in the real world, where they each have pros and cons. Why fly to Vegas when you can drive? Think about your answer to that question.
That looks like one broken bone, several sprains, and a handful of future chiropractic patients.
Suggesting anyone should become a chiropractic patient.
Harry Potter adults would much rather see the kids hurt themselves than teaching them anything useful, as always.
This is how you teach people physical things, though. Learn by experiencing it. You think they teach boxers how to box without hitting them? Besides, no one in the group was actually hurt. You're just making things up.
But who put the tent up?
Another irrelevant question made worse by this being a universe where magic exists. I mean, this man was actually miffed that the dishes were washing themselves in the last movie, but is asking who put the tent up.
Unbelievably convenient spell makes one wonder why there are such things as conflicts in the magic world.
Besides the fact that those two things literally have no correlation, I am enjoying how you see something like this and still leave in the sin about someone putting the tent up in the first place. It's like, on one hand, this guy realizes they have wondrous supernatural abilities, and then on the other, assumes they are doing manual labor.
Blimey, Dad. How far up are we?
I'm still trying to figure out why stairs exist at the magical Quidditch arena. What, no magical spell or elevator?
Have you never been to a sporting event live? Who am I kidding? Of course you haven't. In a stadium, such as a soccer or baseball stadium, there are elevators, but they cannot take you to every single row where there are seats. That's where the stairs come in.
Malfoy somehow reaches from all the way down here with his cane to catch some of Harry's supposedly loose-fitting jacket and stop him in his tracks.
A blatant lie. Malfoy reaches up to dig his cane in Potter's foot, not his jacket. You know, because that doesn't make any sense at all.
That's racist.
Bet you wouldn't say that to an Irishman's face, though.
Damn, all that build-up for the Quidditch Cup and we don't see one bit of it.
It's almost like the title of this movie is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and not Harry Potter watches the Quidditch Cup.
Get back to the portkey, everybody, and stick together!
What portkey? The boot was the portkey and then they landed in a field. So, are they supposed to run back to the field, or all the way back to the random English hill that contains the boot?
Here Jeremy is once again pretending he hasn't seen this movie already, and making it seem as if the portkey doesn't come with the travelers when they teleport. This movie specifically shows how portkeys work in the climax when the Triwizard Cup goes with Harry and Cedric to the graveyard and returns when they do. Even if you dumbass CinemaSins fanboys pretend he's doing it from the perspective of someone that hasn't seen this movie, the Triwizard Cup literally invalidates this specific sin, but it's still in the video.
Also, hundreds of thousands of magical people, and instead of ganging up on a handful of Death Eaters and overpowering them, they all scatter. Haven't these people seen A Bug's Life?
The vast majority of people aren't about that life. People talk a big game behind their computer screens, but when them green spells start flying, you begin to separate the wheat from the bitches. I mean, these people are too scared to say Voldemort's name. You think they're down to actually fight his followers?
Main character gets separated from the group because of an unrealistic scuffle in a large crowd cliche.
I take it 2014 Jeremy has not heard about the Astroworld tragedy here in 2021. Let's just say that's not unrealistic. Not by a long shot.
So everyone's dead? Or did everyone escape and then they burned everything to the ground? You see, the problem with these cutaway to after the action is over shots is that they confuse the fuck out of the audience.
Jeremy sees an empty festival where the campground has been burned down and assumes the audience is confused at what happened here. No, bud, I think that's just you.
What crime?
It's the dark mark, Harry. It's his mark.
Oh, the burning down of a whole village is not the crime they're talking about. It's the scary firework.
It's almost like they have rules against certain things in this specific society. I mean, you honestly think wizards care about this being burned down? I would assume summoning wanted criminals to attack other wizards would be higher on the priority list.
Wait, they're going straight to Hogwarts after all this shit?
The passage of time continues to confound CinemaSins.
Honestly, why even travel by water at all if you're going to go by magical completely submerged boat? Why don't these two other schools just have all the students take a port key to Hogwarts? It wouldn't make for nearly as cinematic an entrance, but it definitely makes for a more logical story.
The first part of your question is extremely weird, considering it insinuates submarines shouldn't exist. No, seriously, think about what was said. Why travel by water if you're going to be submerged? And the second is that port keys have to be arranged and everyone has to touch the object, meaning they'd have to take turns, which risks being discovered by no mash due to how long that would take. Then there is port key sickness, which nobody likes, and it's just more of a headache than it's worth.
Hogwarts has been chosen to host a legendary event, the Tri-Wizard Tournament.
Apparently, the announcement of this very special event just happened today, with the competing schools knowing way in advance before any of the students at Hogwarts did.
I don't understand this criticism. When would have been appropriate to tell the students, and why is right now a bad time to do it? Dumbledore makes big announcements like these in the Great Hall every year. Why is this a problem now?
To be fair, this is how we imagine all French girls, whether they know magic or not.
Oh, was that it? I thought you were pointing out things wrong with Goblet of Fire, not telling us you think French women are accompanied by butterflies.
And now our friends from the north.
The North? Isn't Victor Crumb from Bulgaria? Isn't Hogwarts in England? Or does Crumb play professionally for a Bulgarian Quidditch team and go to school in some Scandinavian country?
First of all, Hogwarts is in Scotland. I know Americans don't do the knowing anything about other countries, but Scotland is a different country than England. This is important because Harry, Ron, and Hermione are all English, while Seamus is Irish. Are you noticing the problem with your question yet? Just because a student is from one country doesn't mean they can't go to school in another country, and this is what happened with Victor Crumb. He is from Bulgaria, but Durmstrang is in Scandinavia, meaning it is more north than Scotland.
Wait, the best...
Where's your playlist taking you? Down the highway?